Hey everybody, before we begin, I just wanted to extend my sincerest thank you and really explain my gratitude to each and every one of you that have subscribed to the channel, liked the videos, and have been a part of this journey so far. I just reached 500 subscribers and I really appreciate the support from each and every one of you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. With that in mind, I wanted to do something a little different today. Instead of a deck profile or like a really heavy mathematical video or talking about card theory or anything like that, I want to actually follow up on the video that I made back in, I believe, 2020 of what's in my box, which showcased this box, which used to be full of all of my cards that I would carry with me, to what's in my bag. Backpacks are one of the biggest accessory items that a Yu-Gi-Oh player has, and it's really interesting actually how much of a status symbol it can be. You know, if you have like the gem backpacks, that can be something. Some players prefer to use like a drawstring bag. I personally have used this Herschel backpack for a couple of years now. Recently I switched down to the Trials of the Pharaoh shoulder bag, which if you're actually wondering how to acquire one of these yourself, you can get it through the Trials of the Pharaoh speed duel event at your local OTS shop, so definitely make sure to check that out. It's a lot of fun. The reason for switching down to a smaller bag for myself was just it was becoming really cumbersome to carry like a big box like this full of cards, and then you also have like a giant binder just like full of trades, and it got tiring. And when you're not really doing a lot of trading and you're not really doing all of that stuff, having all that extra bulk on you just doesn't really make sense. So I wanted to show you guys what I keep in my bag, which is as concise as I can make it so far. And I feel like it's something a lot of players should really look into doing. And it also will kind of give newer players here who might be watching my channel an idea of what you'll want to have with you for your first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, all the way up to a YCS or the WCQ. These items in here are basically going to be good for any of them. So we'll kind of go like top to bottom, and then the big pocket here in the back, and we'll just kind of go through each item. So first things first, I always keep hand sanitizer with me. A lot of my friends know I have a really unlucky habit of getting sick at almost every event. I get run down from flying from event to event, and I do everything I can to avoid getting sick, but unfortunately it will happen. So to mitigate that as much as I can, I always keep hand sanitizer with me. I always offer it to my opponents, always wash your hands and things like that, of course, but also always keep a little bit of hand sanitizer with you. So in this top pocket here, and the way that I wear this shoulder bag, by the way, just for clarification, is I keep it across my chest actually. And that's because I keep, the first thing I keep in there is my wallet actually. I keep it right at my chest level so I can see it and I can feel right there, and it's nice and tight and secure, so that way I don't have to worry about anything happening to it. Another thing I keep in my bag at all time is Advil or Tylenol, something like that, just to help with headaches. I get frequent headaches at big events, especially with all of the noise and all of the stimulation that comes from all of the people and the excitement and the colors and the lights and everything like that. It's really easy to get a headache, so I wanted to make sure that I always keep that with me. I also always keep, just a few pens with me. Usually I keep 3 or 4. I end up buying new packs of pens all the time because people just seem to take pens and don't give them back. And I always also keep a Sharpie with me, whether that be because somebody who recognizes my TCG player articles wants me to sign a card, or I see somebody that I would like to have them sign a card, or something special comes up like that, or I'm near somebody and they need to borrow a Sharpie, so that way, a big YouTuber like DZ or Team APS can sign something for them and they just happen to not bring their Sharpie. I always want to be prepared for pretty much anything. So that's the top little pocket. Then we go down to the main pocket here, or the bigger pocket of the two. And I always keep my reading glasses with me for tournaments. Again, with all of the light and the noise and all of the stimulation, headaches happen. One thing that I tend to get a headache from actually is reading Yu-Gi-Oh text when it's very small, so I use reading glasses to help mitigate that, so I always keep a pair of those with me. And if you do that, actually, I would highly suggest getting blue light blue light reading glasses to kind of help if you're looking at your cell phone and stuff like that too, or any other screen, just to kind of, again, help mitigate maybe getting a headache there. One big thing I'm always a proponent of is score pads. I always keep at least one, usually 2 to 3 with me at every tournament. Always keep track of your life points on pen and paper. Don't rely on a calculator. Don't rely on your opponent to, you know, memorize the life points and things like that. I always will use pen and paper. Another really cool thing I keep with me is a coin. Just for coin flips. There are card effects that require them, and it's also just like a really easy marker, because sometimes, you know, with like in the current format we have Predaplant Dragos Stapelia, well, it puts a counter on there. Here's a counter. You can actually get these by pre-registering for any YCS level event right now and submitting your deck list before the deadline on the Friday of the event. So it's a great way to get a really cool coin, and they actually can come in gold too, which are pretty cool. I haven't gotten one myself yet. I'm hoping to get lucky here at YCS Las Vegas, but we'll see. I also always keep a pair of dice with me. I've been really fond of the Ultra Pro metal dice here with this little carrying case. That's been something I've been a really big fan of lately. But you'll also see like these cool dice that you can get from Legendary Duelist Season 3. There are Judge dice, there are Attribute dice, Spell and Trap dice, Millennium Item dice, all sorts of different dice that you can get from varying price points too. And you can always just use, you know, the standard black and white 6-sided die. It's just important to have all of these tools with you just in case when you're at a tournament. Just lay these out, have them right there, ready to go, just in case anything comes up, you have them ready to go. Then, of course, this is for the judges watching. I keep the little cheat sheets here. This is a conditions cheat sheet explaining how conditions work, and then you've got conjunctives, end of match procedures, and player penalties and how those work. I just like to keep these in my bag just in case any event that I am judging, I want to have them with me. I also like keeping them with me just in case I need to remind myself how card text works, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Card text can be very complex, and no matter how experienced you are, every once in a while it's good to have a nice little bit of a refresher. So moving on from that pocket, we go to the main pocket here. First things first is you have your game mat. This backpack is a little small for that, so I kind of have to like bend it in there. Always keep a game mat with me. Usually it's this blue one right here, but I chose to use this this one tonight. It's really pretty. You can always just use like any game mat, you know, that you can find at your local Target or your Walmart OTS shop, anything like that. There's tons of game mats that come in different sizes. You can even use a half mat if you're using a small bag like this and you don't want to have to kind of like jimmy it in there, because when you're putting it in a half bag like that, or a small bag like this, you kind of have to put the bottom in and then you have to bend it to get in there. And some people don't want to do that, but that's always an option. So you always want to make sure you have your game mat, make sure you have your deck in your deck box. I actually get a lot of I get made fun of a lot for this. I label all of my deck boxes no matter what. All of my deck boxes will have my name on them, so all of my friends like to give me a hard time about that. It's just something I really enjoy doing. I like making sure that if anybody happens to have the same deck box as me, I will make sure to be able to tell which one is mine. I also keep a small deck box just labeled deck stuff, and what this is it's the smaller version of the old big box that I used to carry with me, and it's just cards that I think are going to be useful potentially that evening or at that tournament, things like that. So like, for example, you've got like Book of Eclipse, Swords of Concealing Light. These are going to be good with Kashtira coming up. Dark Ruler No More, Twin Twisters, Nibiru's. That was just for an example for tonight, but it changes all the time. I also keep a very small trade binder with me, literally a 2x2 binder. These days, trading doesn't happen as much in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, which is unfortunate, but I still enjoy trading once in a while, so I always like to make sure I keep a small bit of trade wares with me just in case anybody wants to trade. It's a great conversation piece and things like that. And then last but not least, the last thing I keep in my bag at all times is a notebook, actually. So these specific notebooks are really hard to acquire. They were a prize for a side event, but everybody who knows me also kind of like to make fun of me because I keep notes on tournaments, on my decks, the math behind my decks, how I did, if I made a mistake, where I made the mistake, things I can work on, kind of things I've noticed throughout the day, things like that. And all of that fits in my bag rather concisely. And I feel like if you're coming to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament for the first time and you're super nervous, you want to know what to bring, main things to focus on are, if you have a trade binder, bring your trade binder, bring your deck, of course, bring dice, score pad, it could be a legal pad, a pen, a coin if you can, and cash. Those are the big things. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what sort of other kind of content you guys would like to see other than just that heavier theory-based content as well, because I would really love to expand and continue to grow the channel. So let me know. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.